Okay, good morning, everyone. This is just a bit of a recap of what I've done in our last session now, this past Monday. So I'm just going to go through payment certificate free, and how to populate that. Um, so I opened payment certificate free, the blank one that you basically had, that I posted on Blackboard. So when we go to our question, we'll see on our questionnaire. Here we've got our question. So the main thing is, this is what I'll give you in the exam, but what you need to make sure is that you incorporate your previous certificate as well. So this might be the question, but we still need to go back and refer to our previous certificate. So the main thing that I usually do, the first step, is to populate the previous certificate onto the template that we have to use. So sorry, that's the wrong one. Let me just move this to here and then open our previous certificate. Okay, so this is what was provided to you. So our previous certificate was 193,000. So what we need to do now first is to go to our payment certificate 2 and populate that and make sure that it looks the same as what we've got on our previous certificate. So if we go to our payment certificate here, we can see what we need to populate our bills of quantities with. So the first step is to take all of these percentages and insert it here in our columns. So what we will have is our previous certificate. We're working out our cumulative amount here. So we've got 90% times the 13,000. Okay, so that was our cumulative one. We don't have anything for this certificate, so all of this will be in our previous certificate. So we need to add that to our previous certificate, just the amount only. Okay, so and then we can calculate the certificate, which is basically the cumulative amount minus our previous certificate to get to our amount. So if we change this to 100%, you will see that our cumulative amount changes and our certificate for this amount, for this certificate, the amount actually changes accordingly as well. Okay, so the main thing is to get our previous certificates in place. So I'm just gonna change that back to 90, and then I'm just gonna do a bit of a cheat so that we just save a bit of time. So I'm just gonna open our previous certificate, the Excel spreadsheet, so that I can actually get the amounts in. Okay, let me just quickly do this. Luckily in our payment certificate 2 there was no changes to bill 1, so this will be an easy operation. So I just add that here. Okay, let's just check whether our amounts are the same. Okay, so 142,107, so that seems correct. Let's just check that. Okay, so in our payment certificate 2, which is on the PDF, you can see 242,107.60. Okay, so that's correct. So now we go back to our payment certificate 3. So that's our first bill, and let's just correct our second bill as well. So we're just going to take the amounts. Okay, so we had some changes on bill number 2, which is our concrete work. Okay, so I just pasted that in, and okay, we had an amount of 142. So now we need to refer to our PDF document. So now it's very important to make sure that we've got everything correct. So our payment certificate 2 had quite a bit of figures included in it, so let's just see what our total should be. 142,000. Okay, so it adds up to 142,000. But what we should do now is we need to get our previous certificate in place. So these amounts now goes over to our previous certificate. Just do that. Okay, and then you will see that this certificate is now actually 0. Okay, so now we are ready to start processing our second certificate. Okay, so we've got that in. Now we go back to the question. In month 3, let me just put it up here. So we've got P's and G's and electricity. So I'm going to skip that for now. That's on our summary sheet that we need to complete that. And here's the actual one. So I'm just going to go straight to bill or section 2, bill 1, which is our earthworks, and then the one item that we have to change in our second bill, okay, of concrete and formwork. Okay, so we've got items 19, 20, 21, and 22. I think I've actually marked them already here. Yeah, here they are. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to change these to 80%. So this is 80%, 80%, 80%. Cool. So that should so our payment certificate should be 14,226 rand, and our cumulative amount should go up to 256,000. Okay, so that's that bill entry. And then on our second bill, we only have one item that changed, so that's item 15 that changes to 50%. So let's go to item 15, which is our test blocks. And okay, so that goes up to 50%. And okay, let's just put in our formula. So we've got our cumulative amount, which is the 50% times the 7,000 and there. This certificate will thus be the cumulative amount minus our previous certificate, okay, which is the 3,700, and we don't have a previous certificate amount. Okay, so our total amount should be 146,000 that we carry over to our summary. Okay, good. I think on this sheet everyone should be relatively comfortable in actually doing it. So let's go back to our summary. Okay, and then I'm just going to open this little column here. This is my cheat column, so I'm going to unhide that. That is now the amount that we need to put in. So first thing that we need to know, and which you need to remember, is our value of work column has to be populated with our previous or our amounts that we actually did now in our bills of quantity. So what we do is we take the cumulative amount, and this is important to remember, that you actually take the total cumulative amount, not one of the other columns. You take the 256 forward. Okay, and then I'm just going to take up these formulas. Okay, so that's the one amount that should be there, and then our second amount is our total concrete, which is 146,000. Okay, then it calculates it automatically. Okay, so the other items that we need to include in our value is our P's and G's. So this question we had 15,000 for our P's and G's. So it's 15,000. So it's the 15 times the 881,000, and then we had another our electricity, which is 10%, which we also added to that. So that is our electrical item here. We add 10% to that to get to our 99,000 that we had here. Okay, so I'm going to close that column, or not, sorry, just hide it, not delete it. There we go. So okay, so we've got our value of work executed column complete. Okay, and then we've got our material on site, material off site. As usual, there's no implication there. So we add our totals here to this side. We subtract our 10% retention. We get our new current value. Okay, and then our price adjustment. I don't know why that formula is like that, but it should be 0. We don't have any CPAP or contract price adjustments. So our gross valuation is 119,000 for our P's and G's, and our earthworks 250 and 131,000 on this side. Okay, again, now we just need to add our previous certificate. I'm just going to do this, otherwise it's going to slip out. So let's look at what our previous certificate said. So here's payment certificate 2. We need to make sure that we've got these amounts incorrect. So our gross valuation is the 79,000 and 217 and 128,000, which we are going to put into our amount. So I'm just going to transfer this. I'm just going to put this on the other screen so you won't see that, but I'm going to type that in. So our gross valuation, just bear with me, I'm just going to get that correct. So I'm just going to put in the totals of our previous amounts here. So you transfer that from the PDF. So our first one here is this 79,365 and 34. Okay, that's our amount there, and our previous one for our earthworks was 217,896.84, and then our concrete was 128,497.50. Okay, so there we've got that. Okay, and then we just add our totals. So I'm just gonna put in those totals. So let me just do this. There we go. Then we've got our amount there adding up. In our electricity, we don't have any previous amounts, and thus we can just scroll this one down, these ones. Okay, it shouldn't do anything to our totals, but it just makes the column complete. Okay, so you can see that our certified amount should be 167,000. So what we do now is we transfer now our total amounts to our payment certificate. So let's go to our payment certificate, and what we do is we transfer our total value certified, which is our total amount here just before VAT, 635,000. We don't have any material on site, off site as well, and we thus have a total amount of 635 plus this gives us that, and thus we have that one times 10%. Okay, and these ones are easy, we just transfer them. Okay, and then our contract amount, there's no adjustments there. Okay, and so what happens is our gross valuation is thus this 635 minus the 63 gives us a total amount of 571. Previous gross amount. Now we need to go back to our previous certificate. So now let's take our gross amount, which is the 425,000, copy that. Okay, and we paste that into our column here. Okay, copied it correctly, and we subtract that from our gross valuation to get to our new valuation, and then we simply take that plus that plus that plus that, get to our new amount. We add VAT to that, so we've got that one plus that one plus that one plus that one. Okay, so we get our new certified amount. Oh, sorry, keep on doing this. It should actually go into that column. Okay, let me just redo that. Okay, so let's see if everything works out. Plus that one. Okay, it works out. So we've the amount on this side corresponds with our certified amount on this side. Okay, cool. So that works out fine. Let's do our percentage quickly. So we've got our gross valuation divided by our contract amount, which is 4.86%, which is still less than 50% of the contract value, and that's more or less it. This is payment certificate free, so please go through the steps that I've just gone through whenever you do your payment certificates, and I think everything should be straightforward. Always remember to also keep your previous certificate in hand to actually do your calculations. Thank you guys, good luck with the exams.